Yes, it is. Before I start, I just want to thank Boxer and Sky Sports and my promoter, Dimitri Salita, for, working with you guys to get this opportunity started. I want to thank Emma for being an opponent and being so prestigious in her record, 21-0, with 11 knockouts. That's probably the best record that I've fought against. And I just look forward to coming to the UK, returning back to boxing, and just showing why I'm one of the top pound for pound women, and just giving you guys a really, really great fight.
Well, I said it before, but you're widely considered the greatest woman of all time. Is there any chance of you overlooking Ema Kozin whilst chasing the potential Savannah Marshall fight?
No, I've never done that. Usually with my fights, we always have somebody who we looking, like we're going forward to. Before I fought against Christina Hammer, it was Hannah Gabriels, right? And I made sure that I focused completely on Hannah Gabriels, and then I focused on Hannah Rankin, and then I fought Christina Hammer. I focused strictly on who's in front of me and who has earned the right to get inside the ring with me. Ema Kozin is my mandatory, so I have a lot of respect for her, and I have trained very, very hard for this camp. Right now, I'm in Vegas, and I even had some training with Floyd Mayweather while I'm here. So I'm not taking Ema Kozin lightly, because I know that this is a huge opportunity for her, and she wants the upset. And my job is to let her know, to make sure that she don't get the upset, and that I have a very, very strong performance in the UK.
You mentioned there that you were with Floyd Mayweather. We saw you in the camp. Did you get any tips? Do you have any motivation from it? Does it add anything to your performance potentially?
Training with Floyd Mayweather has made my confidence. If my confidence wasn't already off the roof, it's definitely in the sky now. He watched me train, and he's very, very fond of my skills, fond of my power, and he'll be flying to the UK to actually watch the fight in person. So now I know that I really have to put on a really, really great, show, and just show everyone that if Floyd Mayweather feels that I'm the greatest one of all time, then there's nobody who can disagree, and I'm just going to prove him right, like I've been proving myself right this whole time.
A couple of questions for Emma now. Emma, you're fighting in the UK for the first time as a pro. How excited are you to meet the British fans and to put on a good show?
Yeah, I've heard that they are great fans, great crowds, and yeah, I can't wait to experience that. And yeah, I'm sure it will be awesome. And that's it. They will look and see the great fight between us two, and yeah, I'm sure they will enjoy it.
And all fighters are confident. How confident are you of beating Claressa Shields?
Yeah, well, I've never been prepared as I am right now, and I wouldn't be stepping in the ring with her if I didn't think that I'm capable of beating her. So yeah, I'm pretty confident, as I should be.
Right. At this point, I think it is a good time to open up for the media Q&A. So I will pass over to Andrew Roberts, and if you are in the waiting room, or if you're here, if you hit the raise your hand button, it will mean that Andrew will be able to see you and call you, and then you'll be able to give your question. So over to you, Andrew.
Thanks very much. Excuse me. Thanks very much, Stan. We'll go ahead and get started with Ben Ransom. Ben, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Andrew. Hello, everyone. Hi, Clarissa. Hi, Emma. Clarissa, if I could start with you, can you give us a bit of an insight into how your camp has gone up there with the Mayweathers and in Las Vegas?
If I had to put a word, for this camp, I would just say, uncomfortable. I made sure that I've gotten out of my comfort zone for this fight. My last boxing match was in March, and I've been doing MMA since March. But it's just like coming back to boxing, I want to make sure that I have my tools and everything. So going to, the Mayweather gym and adding Coach GT to my team has really sharpened up a lot of my tools. And I've even been able to get some altitude training, run some mountains. I'm 26 years old. I'm very, very well accomplished, but I've never ran a mountain in my life. So to run, in 12,000 feet of elevation, and to be able to run 5 miles and still be able to breathe after, to be able to box 10 rounds down here in Vegas, and to even get some pointers from Floyd Mayweather, I feel like I've prepared very, very hard for this fight, and that's why I'll come out victorious.
What are you expecting from the UK fans? It will be your first fight in front of them since, I guess, London 2012.
I'm expecting them to be very excited to see me. After winning the Olympics 2012, I think when I walked out there, you know, for my gold medal match, it was just an explosive crowd. I think that they have really, really great boxing fans, and they love their boxers, right? So even though I wasn't from the UK, but I did represent the USA well, and it was a lot of fans in the building to see me fight. So I'm excited to come back to the UK to show my skills, to show how I've improved from 2012, and just bring that USA swagger.
Emma, can I ask you a question as well? Speaking then of that USA swagger, how do you plan to dethrone Clarissa?
Well, I won't show you all the cards I have, but yeah, I'm highly motivated. I want this win. I don't think I ever wanted this as much as I do that. And yeah, with intelligence, focus, and motivation.
And do you think you're in the best shape of your life at this point?
Yeah. I made a huge progress in the past year. I've been training from 5 to 6 hours a day, and I think I did about 500 rounds of sparring this year. So yeah, I feel great and prepared.
Well, we can't wait to have you both over. Clarissa, just one final one to you before I hand on. I just want to ask you, we've spoken a lot about your rivalries, not least Savannah Marshall, of course, but also Jake Paul. I just wonder, when it comes to rivalries, what do you get out of them as a fighter, and do they spur you on in any way?
I mean, we all have our different reasons on how we get motivated. I just really won't smoke with anybody who won't smoke with me. You know, I just don't turn down. You know, people talking trash to me, I'm like, the best way to get something handled is to get inside the ring and take care of it, to me. Like, that's how I make peace. So when people talk trash to me, I talk trash back, and hopefully that leads to us getting inside the ring and, you know, taking care of business and seeing who's the baddest. So, you know, rivalries, you know, are entertaining, but I mean business. So any girl who talk trash to me, I talk trash back. I would love to get inside the ring with her and shut all of them up. Anybody that talk trash to me, I want to punch them in the face.
I'll wait to see you soon. Thanks, Clarissa. Thanks, Emma.
I do want to add to that. You know, Jake Paul is trying to be an American boxing superstar, and Claressa Shields is a two-time Olympic gold medalist, and all that she has done for women's boxing. Jake Paul, as a gentleman, and you know, I know that in the UK, you guys, maybe the origins of chivalry and being an honorable person, he has to have respect for Claressa Shields' accomplishments inside the ring as a professional, as an amateur, her background, where she came from, and what she's been through to get to this level and to raise the sport of boxing. And I truly believe, you know, Serrano and all the other great champions are at this level and getting paid more and getting the exposure they need because of Clarissa's initial success. And so Jake should be supportive of Clarissa. And, you know, if you don't have anything good to say, just don't say it.
Agreed.
All right, thanks, Dimitri. Next up, we'll have Cynthia Conti. Cynthia, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question. You there, Cynthia?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hey, this message or this question is for Clarissa. It's funny when from Ring TV. It's funny. I remember speaking to you back, I think, during the last HBO show. I think you were fighting Hannah Gabriels, and we talked about you always fighting on Twitter. I'm like, you can't fight on Twitter because you can't beat everyone. And it's funny now that I see you. You still fight, but your words, you choose your words wisely.
Yeah.
So I just want to congratulate you on that. Now,
Thank you.
going into this fight in the UK against Emma, can you, this question is for both you and Emma. What's something that is a great attribute that both of you are going to bring in the ring to each other?
You know, for me, I feel like I'm going to bring that experience. I'm going to bring their world championship level. You know, Emma is 21-0 with 11 knockouts, but she hasn't fought the people that I fought against in just my 11 fights. She hasn't fought those top tier champions who are champions for 9+ years, who have great records, who, you know, have been champions in multiple weight classes. She hasn't done that. So I think that that's going to be a bad part well, that's going to play bad up in her part. But I've taken on the biggest challenges earlier in my career because I had the skills and the power to do so. I think that when she gets in there with me, she's going to see that experience. She's going to see that, you know, that I've been in here with the top, and that it's just different. You know, when you watch film, you know, you feel a certain way and you feel, oh, you can do this and you can do that. But every time I fought, I brought a different fighter to the ring. You know, I'm not the same fighter who I was when I fought against Hannah Gables, Christina Hammer, Marie-Eve DeCare. You know, I always make sure that I improve my performances and perform the way that I want to. So I think that she's going to have to, you know, deal with a lot of different styles from me, and also deal with the new power and the new speed that I have. And she's going to see why I'm the greatest woman of all time.
And Emma, what do you think when you step in the ring with Clarissa? What do you think she's going to bring?
Well, yeah, as she said, she's a great fighter. Of course, she fought a lot of great champions, but you don't need a lot of fights or even high-level fights to be experienced. I did a lot of that in training. I have a great team behind me, and I know I did great. She doesn't know me as she thinks she does. I also have some different styles. I can change them from round to round. Doesn't matter to me, and I know if I have that focus, which I have like for the past year, that I can beat anyone, even her.
And Clarissa, we all Clarissa, we all know that you have made the move into MMA. Coming back into boxing after your first professional MMA loss, what newfound love have you found for boxing when you came back? Did you see it a little bit differently?
No, you know, MMA, I did that for myself. You know, I did that because the women in boxing can't challenge me. I wanted to challenge myself, so I went to MMA. I'm not going to say, you know, oh, the split decision loss to MMA made me come back to boxing. I've been doing both at the same time. I fought boxing in March. I had 2 MMA fights, and now I'm fighting again, you know, up in January. No, February. It's been postponed so dang much. But it's like that's the plan, to continue to do MMA, continue to do boxing. And I've never lost my love for boxing. You know, boxing is my first love, and that's why I'm the greatest at it. You know, I think MMA was something that I had to do for myself. It really wasn't for anybody else, you know, because my promoter didn't want me to do it. My family didn't want me to do it. It was all me. And I think that even my last fight, you know, to not have any amateur experience in MMA, just to turn pro and to be fighting on a large platform as ESPN and being the main event, that it just shows that I'm a different kind of athlete, and that when you're a different kind of athlete, you can do different kind of things. So MMA isn't over, and I'm going to continue in MMA. I don't know what happened. Andrew?
I think we're just waiting for Andrew.
Oh, apologies, I was muted. Sorry. Thank you, Cynthia. Our next questions will come from Donna Corby. Donna, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey there. My first question is for Clarissa. Of course, there was a big story a couple of weeks ago. I guess Dimitri could answer this too, I suppose, about these emails that were leaked with regards to Jake Paul. How much did you know about that before the story broke?
Listen, this hold on, Dimitri, before you start. This ain't about Jake Paul. This is about Claressa Shields and Ema Kozin. So as it was said, I don't email about this stuff. I have a manager, I have a promoter. Their job is to make opportunities for me. What you need to know is I was supposed to be on a Mike Tyson and Roy Jones undercard, not ever under what the fuck? Who called me? Oh, sorry. Not ever under Jake Paul. So let's get that clear. I don't know what the email said, and I really don't care. But we're not going to talk about that and give him the shine of this press conference. This is about me. This is about Emma. This is about world title. This is about elite box. This elite boxers. So I'm just gonna leave that there. And Dimitri, you don't even have to speak on it. Managers do their job, promoters do their job, fighters train and get ready for fights. That's what we do.
Can I ask you about elite boxers then, and two others in the division, or in not in your division, but as a few weight classes below? Who do you believe will win in this Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor fight?
Oh man, it's such a great fight. You know, you have a 7-time division world champion, Amanda Serrano, versus 2-time division world champion, undisputed Katie Taylor, an Olympic gold medalist, right? I think it's one of the biggest women's boxing matches because of their accomplishments. You know, people ask me, you know, is me and Savannah Marshall fight, you know, bigger than like Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano? And I just don't think it is. You know, people can disagree, but I feel like all their accomplishments meshed together. It'd be a great fight. And I think Amanda Serrano will win the fight by a split decision.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Donna. Next up, we'll have questions from Jim Conlon. Jim, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi, Clarissa. Great speaking to you again there in terms of your upcoming career. Clarissa, in terms of the upcoming challenges now coming back to boxing again, what are the main accomplishments that you want to sort of achieve now in the next year or so? Because you mentioned you want to move away for MMA to prove yourself. Coming back to boxing, what's the next step for Claressa Shields?
Well, first step is February 5th, Ema Kozin. After that, hoping to get inside the ring with Savannah Marshall next. I fight February 5th. She fights sometime after that. I win, she win, we fight, right? So that's the plan right now. Then after that, I do have some business to handle in MMA. So I'm going to get back to MMA training and just keep improving there. In 2023, boxing may not see me in 2023 because I'm going to be spending time getting ready for the PFL for the PFL league, where I'll be able to compete for $1 million.
And just Clarissa, just back on the possibility of you fighting Savannah Mitchell and obviously Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Do you think maybe boxing in this current era, in this current decade now, is really at the prominence of female boxing, that it can equal sort of the male equivalents of your Tyson Fury, your Anthony Joshua's, your Deontay Wilders, that these are the big fights that everyone wants to see, and the top women are now getting it on with each other?
You know, I just think all the networks that's putting on women's boxing now, I think that the right fights are being made. You know, Layla Ali and Ann Wolfe never fought each other, but I think up in this era, you're going to get the fights that you want to see. You're going to get the Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. You're going to get the Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. You know, you're going to get, you know, you got Jessica McCaskill versus Cecilia Brækhus, right? So you get those big fights that you want to see. And I'm just happy that they got girls that's coming up, because you only know like maybe like the top 10 of us now, but there are girls that's coming up who are great too. And they're going to make a lot of noise, and it's going to be, you know, younger fighters coming up who are going to challenge the older fighters, you know, and I'm becoming an older fighter now, like as I'm 26 and I'll be 27 next month. And it's going to be some girls who are 22 and 21 coming off the Olympics who are going to want to challenge me. So it's a lot of, you know, women who are
always brave. Doing
ready
it in front
to
of
fight.
the cameras, very brave. Whilst comedians comment out how it all goes down, heroic. Dating no filter. Tonight at 11 here on Sky.
Let's try and
What
keep
is
our
Yeah,
things on mute.
please. There we go.
I don't know what I was saying, but yeah, women's boxing is on fire right now. You're getting the fights you want.
All right, thanks, Jim. Next up, we'll take questions from October Red. October, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi there, good afternoon. Good evening, Clarissa. 2 times Olympic gold medalist, 12 times world champion, 3-weight division champion. What an honor it is to speak to you. Clarissa, I want to touch on something that you mentioned in one of your earlier interviews, and it's about your MMA loss and how you dealt with that. It's kind of similar to what AJ said about his loss to Usyk. He said he could only watch it to round 4. And I remember you saying that you didn't want to watch it. As a champion, someone that holds all of those belts, how do you then begin to process a loss and think about coming back, having that champion mindset to still push forward?
Well, you know, like with the fight being so close,
Yeah.
that was the disappointment. It wasn't really like the loss, right? Like, you know, I didn't get knocked down. I didn't get submitted. You know, I just went in there and lost a very, very close fight that a lot of people felt like should have went my way, that I should have got the decision. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's still a loss on the MMA record. And, you know, when I watched the fight, only thing I can say is that I was happy to see my improvements, right? From the first fight to my second MMA fight, so many improvements. And that's how I was able to just kind of take it like, you know what, yeah, you know, I lost a very, very close fight, but I still have something to build off of. Like, it wasn't a terrible performance. And me and my team can build, like, we can build off of that. And we know what the weaknesses are. We know what my strong points are. We know what we need to work on. And just a little bit more on my part, maybe with the wrestling or with, you know, something would have got me the decision. But I felt like I won the first 2 rounds, and Abigail won the last round. So I thought that I won the fight, but, you know, just watching it, I'm always telling myself like, I should have done this. I should have done that. But, you know, you kind of got to leave in the past, you know, focus on what's in front of you, and just continue to, you know, chase greatness. And that's what I'm doing right now.
All right. Thank you very much for that question. Our next question will come from Suzanne with All Star Boxing, Women in Boxing.
Sorry, Andrew, I want to add to that answer that Clarissa just gave.
Sure.
So it's a bit of a different comparison with Anthony Joshua losing to Usyk and Clarissa fighting in MMA, because the MMA is a completely different sport. A better comparison would be Michael Jordan after he won the NBA championships, that he went to play baseball, and he had challenges playing baseball because it's a new sport and it's a new game. So the fact that Clarissa lost in MMA has absolutely no impact on her record or her skills as a boxer. She's the best boxer in the world. I feel deserves to be in the men's pound for pound list, and whatever Clarissa will learn on a personal way is great, but it's a different sport. So as it relates to boxing, Clarissa is undefeated, unbeatable, and the accomplished fighter that she is, regardless of what happened in the MMA cage.
Agreed.
To follow on from that then quickly, Dimitri, it just in relation to the mindset of dealing with a loss and moving forward with regards to, it doesn't matter what sport it is, it's having the mindset to still push forward and come back and win.
Well, I mean, Clarissa, through her life, personal life and professional life, and has shown that she's a fighter through and through, and she overcomes obstacles. And that's why, to me, she's a symbol of strength and really a hero for the people. And sports is just the way that you portray it. And we have a chance to follow her story. You know, when you're at your home, when you play pool and you lose to your friend, you also feel a little bit upset that you lose. But it's not your profession. It's not what you do. So like Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time playing basketball. Then he went to play baseball and he had his challenges because it's a different sport. It's a team sport. There's a ball. You still have to get it in, but it's a different goal. It's a different sport. So while MMA is a combat sport, but you know, can Clarissa go and compete in a judo tournament or in a jiu-jitsu tournament? So it's very similar. It's a different sport, even though there's some similarities because it's one-on-one, but it's a completely different sport. And whatever skills she's shown has absolutely no impact on her boxing career. If anything, it should show the writers and the media and the fans what kind of athlete and what kind of person Clarissa is, that she's pushing herself and really, through taking this risk, is raising women's sports and women's boxing to the next level, as she has done throughout her career.
All right. Thank you for that, Dimitri and October Red. We'll get back to Suzanne. Suzanne, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
No problem. Thank you both. I'm delighted to speak to you. Something that you've touched on previously is that women are underrepresented, especially in boxing in the media. So I just wanted to know how you think we can, as everyone on this call, improve that for UK and European, US fighters coming through, especially in women. The other thing is around equality in the sport. Do you really think we're there yet? And if not, again, how do we improve it? That could go to either.
Well,
Emma or you, Clarissa, either.
I'm sorry, you gotta repeat that whole question. I thought you were talking to Dimitri.
Oh no, no problem at all, Clarissa. So it was just around women in media, how we kind of promote it better as UK companies and UK promoters. At the moment, you're quite obviously controversial, you're outspoken, you're confident, you're dominant. Do you think UK boxers are too humble, especially the women as well? Are we too nice? Is that why the women aren't getting the coverage that they need? How do we do it better in the UK and in Europe?
You know, I can't say that it matters if you're, humble or if you're, cocky and if that's why you get, more viewers or get more fans. I'll just say that the women at the top are sometimes, I feel like they're scared to speak up about things, that's going on in the sport because of the backlash we may get from, the people in charge, right? And I think that the more that you let the fans, get to know you and get to see you and, get to hear from you and hear your point of view, that's like the fans find that relatable. Like, honestly, Katie is, to me, I think Katie is super, super humble, very, very sweet person. She goes in there and she handles business, but it's like nobody really knows anything about her personally. And I think that that's something that could build women's boxing, just to hear her point of view, hear her thoughts, about the 3-minute rounds, or if we should go 12 rounds, 2 minutes, or 12 rounds, 3 minutes, or 3 minutes for 10 rounds, stuff of that nature. But I don't think that all the women in the UK are, soft-spoken. I mean, we see Savannah Marshall speaking out more. Ema Kozin speaks out. Myself, Amanda Serrano has always speak about the inequalities of women's boxing. Myself, just even though I was getting paid the most up at one point, I was still, trying to make sure that I brought other women to the top with me to where they can get a payday and where they can be known. But, I think that us is, when we have to know that we just got to be voices in every room and we got to support each other. A lot of women are, hating on the other, even if they're not in their same weight class. And I think that that's part of the problem too. But I have some great supporters, some great fans, and the media really, likes to talk to me. So I've just been building a few things, and adding a thing or two up on YouTube. Like with my YouTube channel, I have 26K followers. Just trying to like build that, continues to build my fan base, do things that's different, and let the fans know that they can get to know me. Like they can ask me questions, they can DM me, and kind of being like interactive on social media. Like that's a big thing right now. But it doesn't matter whether you're cocky or humble. People are going to watch you because they want to watch you. People watch me because they don't like me, because they do like me, because I'm the greatest woman of all time, and they think I'm not. Like, people are going to watch if you have great skills. So I think the right fights are being made, and that women's boxing is definitely growing right now.
All right. Thank you, Suzanne. Our next question comes from Kat Lucas. We have time for just a couple more here, Kat. So one question, please.
Hi, Clarissa. Hi, Emma. Hope you're both well. Just following on from what Suzanne said there, Clarissa, you've been speaking about what an exciting time it is for women's boxing in particular. And you've spoken a lot in the past about equal pay as well. I don't know what you can say about this fight in particular, but do you hope that fighting on a card of this magnitude in the UK will help with that cause?
I think fighting on the card of this magnitude will help women's boxing. I mean, Leon Williams and Chris Eubank, they aren't world champions, but they're known worldwide, right? Because of their fights and who they've been inside the ring with. And when you put the women on the undercard, it just gives us, we're going to get some of their fans, and their fans are going to become our fans. And I think that every boxing card should have women on the co-main or like the TV opener, to where they'll be anticipating like the lead up to the big fight. So everybody wants to see the grudge match with Leon Williams and Chris Eubank, including me. So after our fight, me and Emma, I'll be running back to the dressing room, put my clothes on, because I want to see the grudge match between those two guys, because the beef is real. So this is great. And I think that, just one step at a time. And I think that all the women in boxing, Katie, Amanda Serrano, myself, all the girls, who are at the top, Chantel Cameroon, I think that we are all, playing our part in taking the big fights, And even though it's not equal pay yet, we're still making the best fights. And we're going to build our viewership up, and people are still going to want to watch us fight and just, you know, support us. So I think that women's boxing, like I said, is going in the right direction, and definitely fighting on big cards, you know, is a huge thing for women's boxing. Just like the UFC and even the PFL, there's always a woman fighting on the card. Boxing needs to get with the program, and every boxing card needs to have a woman on there.
All right.
Thanks, Clarissa.
Thank you very much, Kat. Our next question is going to come from Jonathan Nagyov. Jonathan, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hey, this is a question for Clarissa. Going back to your last fight, becoming two-weight undisputed champion, the first male or female, can you just sum up what that achievement meant to you, and do you feel like you got the credit you deserve for that?
Well, fighting against Marie-Eve Dicaire was a huge challenge. I was coming off of a year layoff. It was the most stressful time in the year for the whole world, you know, as we went through the pandemic of COVID. But fighting against Marie-Eve Dicaire was definitely worth it. You know, I did what I could do in that fight. I felt a lot of ring rust during that fight. That's why I put more time into this training camp and more sparring and just doing some different things in camp. But I'm the only boxer to make the Guinness World Records in, you know, 2022, and that means a lot. Have I gotten the recognition? You know, you always feel like you can get more. You know, people can do more, say more, or whatever. But my accomplishments I make are for me. You know, and if people choose to admire them and choose to, you know, praise me for them, then thank you to them. But I'm just going to continue to take the biggest fights. You know, and as far as I don't think all the women in boxing, any of us are getting our, you know, the respect that we want just yet. Like, we're getting the respect, but it's still like, it's not equal pay. It's just so much that needs to be done in women's boxing. But like I said, we're all playing our part. And I'm just going to continue to break records and just chase greatness, because that's what I want to do.
All right, great. Our last question from the press is going to come from Ra Hogan with the Boxing Voice. Ra, please unmute yourself and you can ask a question.
Hello. Evening, Clarissa and Emma.
Evening.
Clarissa, was the motivation for you to try or join MMA because you've been so dominant in your boxing career, obviously just the one defeat, and will you now be looking to do even more, say maybe look to become a multiple weight champion, so even more than the three you've already done? Like, I think you mentioned possibly moving down to welterweight before it's too difficult, and then maybe move up again, maybe as high as light heavyweight. Are those things you've possibly got in mind?
You had said one defeat. You talking about MMA?
No, sorry, the one defeat as an amateur.
Yeah, see, the amateur stuff don't count, because Savannah Marshall lost 20 times in amateurs, and we don't talk about the girls that beat her. So I'm undefeated. I'm an undefeated world champion. So that's first. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, with me being an undefeated world champion, being the greatest woman of all time, moving forward, Ema Kozin first. But I have so many things I want to accomplish in boxing. I want to fight 3 to 4 times this year before I start focusing on MMA. And of course, I want to stay undefeated. I think I want to end my career being a 5-time division world champ. I believe that I can fight at 147 and maybe a 175. I was thinking about 140, but that's just too little. You know, I think that's too little. So I would like to try my chances at 147 and possibly 175 and become a 5-time division world champion and just fight the best and, you know, make the best fights. Whoever they feel is the best. And near my weight class is 168, 160, 154, 147, 175. I just want to fight the best and just kind of have a great career and make a great life for myself and my you know, future and everything.
All right, great. Thank you, Ron. Thank you to all the press that joined us today. That's all we have time for question-wise.
Pro career, and when we get inside the ring February 5th, I'm going to make you call me the GOAT while we're inside the ring.
Tough words. Right. Thank you everybody for joining the virtual press.